2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, whatever you have left of the year, does not sound like a lot to change your life, right? But I've seen it before. I've done it in my own life, and my clients are doing it every day. Look at the testimonial page I have, or look in the comments. People are changing lives. You only actually need to implement a few changes in your life to change everything about it. A lot of people, not on this channel, but in other places, they spend their entire life having dreams and desires, not doing anything about it. Why? Because they are afraid they can't have it, not realizing it is that fear that is actually creating the not having it. In this video, I will allow you to be one of those people that start searching for your desire. And after that, you will then have it. Because you can have everything you want. So let's dive into it. What do we really need to change our life this year so that the entire next year you're going into will be a reflection of you, where you get to have total domination over everything you want? Your wealth, your health, your wisdom, your love, relationship, whatever. Let's talk about it. I have created this document, Dare to Believe. And firstly, we'll talk about what do we need? What is it? What are the skills that you need in your head to change your life? Why do we need it? So why is it important that we change in here? And how do we do it? I'll give you specific exercises that is normally reserved for me and my clients. So what do we need? I'll just jump ahead because I have a client call in 35 minutes, so we will have to make time. Firstly, we need conviction. We need total conviction in a certain outcome. We need to believe that we can have what we want to have. And the reason we need that is because that will change our physical reality as we see it today. You are used to saying, okay, I believe what I see. But actually, everything that you can get comes from your identity. So the list is actually like this. Identity. Some will call it self-concept. We can just write that down here. And some will call it personality. It's not a lot of room. Personality. But all of this group that is what determines what thoughts you have. And that pretty much determines which feelings you have on a day-to-day basis. And that determines what actions you take that day. And what are the actions responsible for, right? Outcomes. So I'll just write a small box here. Outcomes. So it's not important actually what you do today. It is, however, important what you believe yourself to be. And when we can really start believing ourselves to be something new, our thoughts will flow, our feelings will flow, our actions will take care of itself. So it's always born from this way out. And in my industry, the manifestation industry, we will look at it from just the same view, but also a different view, where we take on the spiritual plane. So we talk about in this industry that you exist on multiple layers of consciousness. And first off, we have what you believe yourself to be. We call it the I am, God, source, Allah, awareness, consciousness, the all. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's not really important for this video. Then we have the mental plane. And that is your thoughts. And we could also say imagination. Right. And then we have the physical plane. And in terms of what you see, it is only relevant to the senses, so what you can sense, but in terms of what you are doing, it's your actions, right? But then again, this is totally in this direction. So everything that you decide to be, everything you believe about God or Allah or consciousness or source will be a direct representation of what you will start thinking. So your ideas will align with what you believe. Your imagination will start creating scenes in your head based on what you believe and what you know to be true. And those scenes will start forming how you act and what you perceive in your physical plane. Right? And this is very important to recognize that actually the world is opposite of what you have believing until this day, where you think I only exist in a physical plane and I can't change anything about it. Because the, whatever you would call it, the people rising to the top, they start up here at the spiritual plane. And they have a decision, an important decision to make as to you, where you will choose, but who do I want to be? Because everyone that is now someone, they were once no one, right? So it's not that, yeah, but I'm not there yet. Nobody was there yet before they were, right? It was not like Ronaldo or Messi or Kanye West or whatever you want to use as this mirror for you. They were not born on the top. But they attach themselves to the identity. Yes, I'm going there. I'm throwing a fishing rod in this video. I don't know why, but you're throwing the fishing rod, right? And you're catching on to a new level of life before you see it. And you have conviction in that outcome. Say, but I know that to be true. And I'll show you later in this video how to actually do that with an exercise. Okay? But it's important to recognize, first thing we need, total conviction. Because the conviction is what is setting fire to the entire chain so it will work. And the moment you doubt it, you will just put doubt into your personality, so your thoughts will doubt, you will feel doubtful, and your actions will be born out of doubt. So you can make the decision to be doubtful if you want to, but you can actually also say, yeah, but I'll go ahead and I'll remove my doubt, and when I see doubt, I'll realize it's my old identity. This is what I've been believing so far, that doubt helps me. That doubt makes me feel safe, or that doubt is good for me, but it's not. Not when you try to realize your greatest potential. All right? Then we need, after that, number 2, we need to align creation. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean? That we need to align all the methods that you are creating reality right now, because you are at every moment, with your vibration, with the way you say stuff, with the way you move, with the way you think. You are internally on your mental plane, in your thoughts, in your head. You are writing a book. And the life you are experiencing is then you reading the same book just a bit later. Right? It's very, very powerful. So we need to align every creation method that we can come up with. And in this video, I'll just talk about visualization. That's a creation method. If you can see it in your imagination, it will feel more true to your system, and you will start acting like it already is so. We will align language, and we'll do it with exercises later in this video. We will align language so it only speaks the words that you actually want to put down in the book that you're going to read. And I'm not talking literally, right? I'm talking as an analogy, all right? And then we will talk about action, because action is such a powerful creationist mechanism, right? And a lot of people think, yeah, but I'll have to choose. I can continue living in the world of only action. That hasn't worked. Or I can go to the manifestation world and only believe and think things into existence. But it's actually when you align the two that magic happens, all right? And the reason why we need to do it is because you are already a part-time creator. We all are, and we are actually all full-time creators, obviously. We create reality at all moments. But what do I mean by a part-time creator? I mean that you are not showing up to work ready half of the time. Most of the day, you just walk around in your thoughts as if you don't decide them. You're just walking around being a slave to thoughts and feelings and the job you hate and the world you hate and the news you hate. Just continue to just eat it all up as if you cannot change it. And you can, right? So part-time creation has gotten you so far, but now you will take the steering wheel and you will say, you know what? I'll change my life now. Okay? And when we do that, obviously, we become full-time creators. And that is where we have total responsibility. Everything in your world is for you. It's also total liberation. I can choose to do whatever I want and still know something to be true in my head. It also means that you get to lift up a great burden of responsibility, because you then get to help as many people as you can. So we need to align creation. That's number 2 thing we need. And then we need to brainwash ourselves, right? And the reason why we need to do that is because the brain is very habitual. It's like this hamster wheel that just keeps on running. And if we say a sentence, 7 times, 10 times, there's not really a number, but if you say it enough times, your brain will just know it. So let's say that every time you see a car that you like, you say a sentence, I can't have it. Then over time, your habitual brain will learn that sentence is what I say when I see that car. The bad thing for you is that most of the sentences in your head, you did not make them. Your parents did. Every time they saw a bill, they said, we can't pay it, or whatever it is, right? Oh, I should feel stress. So you learned a lot of physical responses, a lot of sentences to say, a lot of emotional reactions. You just aligned yourself with it, because that is what a kid should do, learn from their parents, right? But we need to remove the things and the reactions we don't like, and we can actually do it when we recognize it's just habitual. It's actually not me. My brain is not me. I'm the one observing what goes on in this circus of a brain. So whatever, right? If you have doubt and it keeps on creeping in, I mean to myself, I doubt all the time, whatever it is, right? Notice, first of all, that you can distance yourself from that and say, I keep on listening to doubt instead of I am doubtful. First, removal, right? Removal away. I will step one step to the side and say, okay, I listen to doubt all the time. And then you can say, I used to listen to doubt all the time, right? And then you can say, the thought of doubt in my brain is slowly dying. The thought of doubt in my brain belongs to my old world. I no longer listen to it. And you can see how those small steps away from it, they all feel real in your system, but they tell your system, but I'm not that thought. And how to brainwash yourself to new levels is, we will talk about later in the exercises, but that is very important, so that you end up having a language that is wonderful, that everyone will be smitten by. And you will do it externally, you will do it internally, and it will really marinate your conviction, so that you don't even know what doubt is anymore. Because when you think of a goal, you think, I can have it. I can have everything I want because I make money every day, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, I'm perfection. Whatever it is, right? We need to start having that dialogue, knowing, but I can choose a dialogue and I can override that old dialogue, because that's just habitual. It doesn't mean it's me. It just means that I've been listening to it for so long. It's old song lyrics. I know them very well, but I have a new favorite song. Right? I've switched genre. I don't like country music anymore. Right? So we need to brainwash ourselves. I think we took care of both the what do we need and why do we need it. Don't you? I have 20 minutes, so we will have to be done with this. Now we will talk about the exercise. Ooh, this is the good part. Let's talk about it. So, first off, I will have to make it quick, but these exercises, they are more powerful than what you might at first glance believe. And I've tried to make them very simple, because simplicity is the greatest form of sophistication, right? It's really how you level up. It's to implement stuff that is not hard to do. And so that your system can easily recognize, well, is it that easy? Because it is that easy. You decide if it's easy to change your life. So, first exercise, I call it the end of story exercise. End of story exercise, right? And that exercise is very lovely. And by the way, if you want more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment underneath what you liked about the video, what you would like to learn more of, and so on. The end of story exercise, right? And the end of story exercise is there to teach you that no matter what you think, you can have what you want if you decide so. So I want you to write on a piece of paper today. In the beginning, I want you to write your current struggle or situation. So you will write, I am right now dealing with whatever you're dealing with, but my desire is to be, or whatever. Right? You'll write down your story right now and what you desire. And then I want you to leave the rest of the page blank. Not with nothing, not with something right now, but at the end of the page, I want you to write, but then and then wish being fulfilled, right? Whatever your wish is being fulfilled, write it out. But then I ended up becoming a multimillionaire, or whatever. Write it at the end of the page, right? And then notice, just for the rest of your day, what you're doing, or you can do it for a week, or you can continue with your thoughts, and notice how you can write everything you want in this middle of the story, and it doesn't change the end of the story. And that's how powerful manifestation is. Right? And you can do this for several days. You can do it with a book. Go down in your bookstore, buy an empty book, a notebook, right? And write your fulfilled state, your dream state, in the present tense, as if you have it, at the last page. And then just write a journal every day. Right? And every time you doubt, you can say, yeah, but the story still ends like this. Right? And what this exercise is meant to do is obviously tell you the great story of how that every great story have contrast in it, have struggle in it, have thoughts in it. But it is also there to teach you what not to include in your book anymore, because it won't change anything. If you know your ending to be your ending, if you know where you're going. And we won't have time to talk about what that conviction does, but that conviction of the end is actually aligning you with your end goal vibrationally, because you are removing any vibrational discord from your reality. That's called the law of knowing, I call it. Neville Goddard called it the law of assumption. Whatever you keep on assuming and knowing to be true will harden into fact in your physical reality. But this exercise is also meant to, as I just said, to have you realize there's stuff I should not include in my story. I can include it, but it's not helping me. So you will write down, and then I doubted for 3 days, and then I thought about I was doing wrong, and then I got this idea, and then I got to be a multimillionaire anyways, right? We can add actually anyways at the end of this story, because and I have several templates of this for my clients, but you can do this yourself. You don't need me to change your life. This is a very easy, good exercise for you to realize I have a desire right now. I know the end, and that is how I'm going to live my life. I don't have to base it on anything, because in physical reality, it's in the future. So how could I base it on anything? I have never known what is going to happen, but I can know what is going to happen at the end of my movie, and I'll know everything that happens every day to be a part of the plan. It's the great unfolding of my desired reality. Okay? So, exercise number 2. That is, what do I know in advance? Right? And I want you to write 3 things that you don't struggle with. And then I want you to write 3 things you do struggle with. And then I want you to ask you, this exercise is you asking yourself a question. And that is, when will I stop saying I struggle? If everything is you pushed out, if every action is born out of an emotion, which is born out of a thought, which is born out of your identity, it starts in your mind. So when will you start saying that you don't struggle as with a thing? Because that is actually setting you up for not struggling. If you need good ideas, start saying to yourself that you always have good ideas. That will train your brain to believe that you always get good ideas. And you will push it out. Maybe even today you'll just get good ideas because you believe yourself to have good ideas. That's how easy this gets to be. So by making this list, you'll realize, okay, I have some things that I keep on telling myself I don't do or can't do or I struggle with. And by me continuing this cycle of repeating my current physical reality by saying to myself, yeah, but I struggle. Manifestation is not working for me. I can't make money. I don't have any good ideas. The industry is killing me, whatever it is, right? Realize you're creating that. You're writing a book that you get to read tomorrow. Why? You can actually start telling a story before it happens. You can be like Kanye West saying, I'm the greatest rapper alive, as you've heard me say many times before. And there's plenty of examples of this. And you don't need any more examples. So when will I stop saying I struggle? This is this is an exercise meant to teach you a bit, right? Because when you know this question, maybe you won't write this, but please write it down. Just be real with yourself. What is it that I'm telling myself I struggle with? And today I'll then start telling myself I don't, and I will actually say the words out loud to myself that I don't struggle with it. So I will go to the opposite. I will go to the fulfillment of it and say I have that right now. And by saying that, you're changing identity. You're rewiring your brain. So you're rewiring your thoughts and your emotions and therefore your actions, and you're actually going to solve whatever you struggle with. But it starts with you. All right. Good. Next exercise. Yes. Great one. I want you to create a visual scene. Right? And I want you to add, and this is from Neville, I remember when. In this visual scene. So I want you to use your imagination every night for a week, right? And I want you to include in that scene someone, you telling your wife or your husband or a friend or mother or dad or brother or whatever, or them telling you that they remember when your desire was not met. So to put your desired reality in the present or even in the past, right? So it could be your wife telling you, do you remember that just a year ago we only made 50K a month, right? Just pick a crazy number. Or do you let your consciousness, let your imagination figure out what to say, right? So that is actually telling your system that, okay, I'm making more now because this is the only, by saying that I'm in a reality with my mind where I'm further than that number. Makes sense? So I remember when is actually taking your desired reality and making it past tense, which is very powerful. And you can do it with health, with wealth, with wisdom, with love. But I remember when is very powerful to add into a visual scene, right? And it can be the only visual scene you will ever need. So you'll find a scene, make it real in your head, feel everything about it and dwell in it before you go to bed for the next 5 days. And then let it rest and see how it marinates your entire life. Good. How much time do we have left? 12 minutes. We have enough time. Good. Then we will talk about action. All right. I have an action exercise, I have a language exercise left. So we are almost at the end. The action exercise is that you will have to start taking the action that is born out of your identity. So if you go back to the beginning of this video, you embody an identity. You believe yourself to be something that you don't see yet. You allow yourself the great luxury of entering a personality, an alter ego. It is not really an alter ego. It's actually the true you. What you believe yourself to be right now is the alter ego. That is the mask. So you're not wearing a mask in this video. You actually get to lose it and become true you, the powerful you. All right. But you embody an identity, the true you, and that will start giving birth to new thoughts and new ideas. But what you normally do is the action that you want to take, the inspired action that is born in your system, you don't listen because you think that that action somehow can be wrong, because you think that you're making the idea, but you never make the idea. Really, try to ask yourself a question and notice how you can't push that idea into anything. You have no control over what pops in your head. And I'm here to tell you that consciousness is serving you. That when you have a desire and you ask, consciousness, source, God, Allah, whatever you believe in, is making a list. Okay, then you need to learn this, and then you need to do this. And that is what pops up in your head instantly. So ask yourself, how? Or I am this coach with many clients, or I am this doctor with many clients, or I am this e-com owner with many millions in my bank account, or I am this trader with successful trades every day, or I am this in this loving relationship, or I am very healthy, or I am whatever, right? And then notice what comes to your mind. What do you feel like doing? And then instead of saying, but maybe that's not going to work, realize that action comes after knowing what works. You. So do the things you're inspired to do, because when you doubt it, you are then embodying old you. And that doubt is actually what makes sure that it does not work. That doubt is what is keeping your desire from you, not the action. So you don't ever have to do it, doubt it, right? You can just do it. So you will just say, okay, for a week, I'll just do whatever I'm inspired to do, but I will focus on my mental state. I will visualize scenes. I will use the correct language. I will start rewiring my entire identity. And then what actions do I want to take in that state? And you don't have free will in action. Let me tell you this. You only have free will in assumption. You just always do what your identity allows you to do. So you don't have to worry about it. And most people think, but I will have to figure out what to do. You always know what to do based on your current state. Period. End of discussion. Okay? So embody something and listen to what happens in your brain. Maybe you get a thought, okay, maybe I can get clients on LinkedIn. Yes. You're not making the thought, your state is. Your identity is making a thought. Take action on it. Reevaluate. Is it working? What thought comes next? What thought comes next? What thought comes next? So leave doubt aside and know that any action born out of your true state is helping you. Maybe learn what is not working, maybe learn what is working. Sometimes a lot of bad stuff needs to happen for you to learn what to do instead. You can only learn which people to hire by maybe hiring a people or a person that is not right for you. And then you'll know, okay, now I know what to hire instead. Now I know what ad to make instead. Now I know what office to have instead. Now I know what business method to use. And you would have never known if you have not tried the thing that you did not like. So the contrast is also born out of your embodiment of a state. So just keep doing. And what I see with my clients is that when you are a part-time manifestor, you are paralyzed. You think, yeah, I will just wish my way into a desired reality. And yes, you can do that. You can actually dwell in it, and you can lean back into it with enough conviction that it will happen. But the most powerful state is when you realize nothing can go wrong. I get to do it all. I get to have my desires fast, and I can just do what I'm inspired to do. And most of my clients, when they enter that state, they will just produce, they'll just create, they'll just act on inspiration without doubt, without procrastination, because procrastination is actually doubt, right? Procrastination is the embodiment of a state that I would much rather be relaxed, because I think that my end state will not be relaxed, or whatever it is, right? So you will take on the action as if it's meant for you, instead of saying it's just an idea, because it's not just an idea. It's actually what is supposed to happen on your journey for you to have your desired reality. Makes sense? So this exercise, if I need to sum it up, is listen to first thoughts. And first thoughts, it's like intuitive thoughts. It's the first thing that comes to mind, not your perception after that, not you doubting it. But listen to the first thought after you embody something. Listen to repetition. Does it keep on showing? Okay. That was really ugly. Listen to, I'll just do like this. Listen to repetition, right? If it keeps on showing and you're not acting, why does it keep on showing? Because you're not acting. God, source, Allah keeps on telling you, come on, do this, come on, do this. It will teach you the right thing that you need to learn on your journey. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Do it. Right? And finally, act on it. And, yes. And 5. Best exercise in the entire video. And we have 5 minutes to do it, so that's perfect. And this is a language exercise. All right? Good. So I want you to write down your story of struggle. Which means, what is it that you're fighting with in your mind, in your world, whatever it is? And then I want you to rewrite it. Right? I want you to rewrite it as if everything is perfect. Rewrite it perfect. Right? And then I want you to realize that both stories get to be true if that is what you believe in. Because every action is born out of your identity. Right? I'm really trying not to go too deep into manifestation in this video purposely. But it's you pushed out always. You are in total control of your external reality. So notice that, okay, if I believe in this story, my current struggle, I'll produce it again until I learn not to do it. Or I can believe in this new story, and I can lean towards that, know it to be true, because that will facilitate every thought and emotion and action I need. So I will rewrite it perfectly, but here comes the kicker. I will have you for the next week decide on a specific language. So I want you to make 5 sentences about your perfect dream, and I want you to have 1 sentence that includes always. Always in it. I want you to have 1 that includes ease in it. I want you to have 1 that includes speed in it. And I want you to have 2 that assumes you already have it, which means I want you to include how did I, and isn't it funny? Let me give you an example so you know what I mean, okay? So I want you to take a new perfect story. If your life is unfolding perfectly, which is it will be if you stick to this story and you tell only that story and you believe only in that story. And then you will give yourself 5 sentences, and those are the 5 only sentences you can use for a week when you talk about your dream. So you can talk to your wife or husband or kids. But when you talk about your dream, this should be the subject. You can change the sentences a bit, but it should be in these 5 areas. All right. Always. It could be, I'm just always making money. I'm just always healthy, right? Ease. I don't mean the word ease. I mean, you can say it's always just so easy for me to make money. It's always just so easy for me to be healthy, right? It's so easy for me to make new friends. Then I want you to make a sentence with speed. How does it happen fast in your life? I just make money every day, right? When I have a physical problem, it's just always solved within a week. I want you to have a sentence that implies speed in your life, as if it always resolves itself very fast. Then I want you to make these 2 final ones, and those are assuming to your system, to your subconscious, that you have everything you need. So how did I become so rich so fast? Right? So you're again putting it into the past, right? How did I become rich so fast? And then you don't have to answer it. Physical reality will then answer within the next few days, showing you opportunities. And you will know that's the answer to my question. That is how I'm going to be rich so fast. Okay? And isn't it funny? The same thing. Isn't it funny how fast I became rich? Isn't it funny that I get to have everything I want? Right? Again, asking yourself a question where the subconscious and physical reality can then say, all right, I guess we believe it. Let me give you the answer. So, language exercise, action, visual scene, things you believe in advance, and end of story exercise. That is brainwashing yourself. That is aligning creation. And that is having 100% conviction, because we know that's the only way to do it. So, what do we need? Why do we need it? How do we do it? Thanks for watching. Go change your life. Get out of here. Bye.